Hey, it's Lyndsey Parker from Yahoo Music. I'm here to talk about the very exciting American Idol finale, which is happening this week, or maybe not so exciting, depending on how you feel about the final two. I'm a little underwhelmed, but before we get to that, let's talk about what happened last week going into this finale. Last week we were down to the final three, two country teenagers, Scotty McCreery and Lauren Elena, and then a very dark horse in this competition, Haley Reinhart. If you had asked me a couple months ago, do you think Haley Reinhart could not only make the top three, but quite possibly would have a very good shot of making it to the finale, I would have said, please give me some of those pills. Did you get them off of Paula Abdul? Because seriously, you were high, you were smoking something, because what are you talking about? But Haley proved us all wrong. She got really far. She escaped being on the chopping block, I think, 4 times, including a couple times very early on, and she ended up being in the top 3. And I personally thought she had a really good shot at making the finale for a couple of reasons, mainly though because of the fact that I thought the country vote would be split. I know country music's really popular in America, and I also am aware that Scotty and Lauren don't exactly do the exact same type of country. There is some variation, not all country is the same. But I really still thought at the end of the day, okay, if you're not into country music, and not everyone in America is, Haley's your only shot, your best bet. She's the one person left who doesn't do country. I also thought that, you know, you always, when someone gets eliminated, have to think, okay, where is the most recent cast-off's votes going to go? Where's that audience going to go? And I figured, okay, James was the rocker, and here's Haley doing Fleetwood Mac and Alanis Morissette and, you know, most importantly, Led Zeppelin, with special permission from Led Zeppelin, which the only other Idol contestant that's ever had such permission is Adam Lambert. So, you know, good company there. So I thought, okay, Haley's going to make it. And I was predicting it was going to come down to Scotty and Haley. And I think she kind of was too, because the look on her face when they told her that actually she had come in third, she did not do that little princessy clap and even try to remotely pretend she wasn't pissed. She was pissed. But she pulled it together, did a great exit song, and I thought it was a good Idol moment, that look on her face. I mean, that was something to rewind on the DVR a couple times. But you know what? That look on her face was the look that was on my face. I was pissed too. I don't want people to think that I hate country music. There's a lot of people out there who think I do because I've expressed such disappointment over the final two. I like a diverse finale. I think it's very ironic that we, I would say, arguably had the most diverse Idol season ever in season 10. We had gospel, represented by Jacob. We had jazz, represented by Casey, and a little bit by Haley as well. She sort of had that torch singer thing going on. Obviously, we had country. We had reggae, something never really represented before, by Naima Adedapa, who even rapped. We had metal as another Idol first, the James Durbin. We had like kind of alt-country indie folk with Paul McDonald. We had, of course, you know, the big, like, diva balladry represented by Pia Toscano and Ashton Jones. We had Latin pop, with, you know, represented by Karen Rodriguez, who sang in Spanish. You know, really diverse season. So it's weird that we've ended up with two people who are very close in age and from the same demographic of the country, the South, and also both doing country music in the finale. It's kind of like instead of apples and oranges, it's just apples and apples. Or oranges and oranges, depending on what kind of fruit you prefer. But like I said, there is some variation, so what's done is done. Let's talk about who I think is going to win and who I think should win. And it's actually the same person. It's Scotty McCreery, which may surprise some of you because all of you know I've been really championing for a long time how it would be nice to have a girl finalist again, a girl winner again, because it's been 4 seasons. And I do think Lauren has a shot, and I know that the Idol powers that be would love to have another girl winner, not just so they can mix it up and not go, yay, another, you know, white, cute boy with a guitar won again for the 4th season in a row, but also because, you know, if you look at actually out in the marketplace, including both in pop and country, it's the females that are, you know, ruling right now, whether it's pure pop with the Katys and the Keshas and the Rihannas and the Beyoncés and the Lady Gagas, or in, you know, country, it's all about Miranda Lambert and Taylor Swift and Lady Antebellum, which is fronted by a woman, a lady, etc. But anyway, this is why I think Scotty would be better for my personal taste. One, while I'll freely admit he doesn't have the better voice of the two, Lauren clearly has a much better vocal range. I do think that he is a better all-around entertainer. He always seems very confident on stage, and frankly, I think he'd be a better person to headline and close out the Idol tour every night live, you know, doing songs like Gone and Young Blood that are really high energy and fun with his crazy eyes and his sideways mic and all that. You know, it has its charms. Although he's less than a year older than Lauren, I just feel he seems a little more mature. And the Idol is under a lot of pressure. The second place person, because let's face it, the second place person always gets a record deal. There's no doubt Lauren's not going to get a record deal. But the second place person, is under a little less pressure when it comes to how much their record is expected to sell, how quickly they need to get it out, the recording of it. They have a little more freedom. A lot of people think the person in second place, is better off. And, the last two seasons we've had, the second place contestant actually sell more. Adam Lambert and last year's Crystal Bowersox have sold better than the people who won those seasons. No diss to those people, I'm just stating the facts. So, I think Scotty should win because I think he's a little more cut out for the pressure that comes from a winner. Like I said, I think he'll be a better headliner. And, I just think he's a little bit better of an entertainer. I also think he is going to win because he's been unstoppable all this season. Lauren has been in the bottom just once, while Scotty never has, no matter what he does. He's given a few dud performances, definitely a lot of corny ones, but he's come out of it all unscathed and unflappable because, he just seems to be loved by, the girls and the grandmas. And let's face it, going back to the whole gender bias thing, it's a fact that the reason girls haven't done as well in the seasons past is because of the young female vote tweeting and texting away and speed dialing away. And they're probably going to vote for Scotty. I think it's going to be the closest finale ever, actually. First of all, same genre, so it's going to be a pretty even split. I do think a lot of Haley's votes might go over to Lauren because, there's more similarity between those two, both pretty blonde, cute girls, perky girls. And also, it can't be ignored the fact that what Lauren does is has a bit more crossover appeal. Like I was saying, not all country's the same, and what Scotty does is more vintage in vibe, kind of reminiscent of like the 90s heyday of Hat Acts, George Strait, Garth Brooks, that sort of thing. While what Lauren does is a little more in tune with the modern pop country we hear today by people like Taylor Swift and Carrie Underwood, of course, who just surpassed Kelly Clarkson as the biggest selling idol of all time. I know that the idol powers that be would love another Carrie Underwood, but I don't know if there's such a thing. Carrie Underwood's one of a kind. But that being said, I do think, it'll be close. Lauren will probably lose, but, she'll probably end up outselling Scotty in the long run because of her crossover appeal and the fact, she's the girl next door. I just hope she takes the news well because I feel she's very fragile. She's the youngest person to ever have in the finale. She was only 15. She's 16 now, but, the age limit used to be 16. She was 15 when she first auditioned, and I don't know if the way she acts on the show is really indicative that it was such a good idea to lower the age limit. She crumbles very easily. She seems to live in mortal fear of getting voted off. The one time she was in the bottom two, she was just a wreck. And I feel for her. I probably would be the same way when I was that young. A TV show like this is a tough competition, so I'm really afraid what happens if she loses. Because I think Scotty would handle that kind of rejection okay, but I don't think she would. And I feel the way Casey acted when he had his crazy meltdown the night he was saved and it was the shock of his life. They had medics on hand for that, and I think they should for Lauren as well. I don't mean that in a mean way. I just think she's going to take the news very hard if her idol dream doesn't come true. But if she's watching this, and we all know she's totally not watching this, but Lauren, if you're watching this, if you don't win, and you're probably not going to win, it's not all lost. You're going to get a record deal, guaranteed. You're going to get a single. You probably will sell tons of records. You might outsell Scotty. And a lot of times when someone's favorite contestant doesn't win, that's when they rally around them even more. That's why Crystal Bowersox and Adam Lambert and Chris Daughtry David Archuleta have such diehard fan bases because so many people were rooting for them and want to kind of right an injustice about what they think was, a bad call on America's part. So Lauren, do not worry. Just be prepared for the worst. And that's all I gotta say. I think both kids will have good careers in country music. Crossover, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how much they're embraced outside of the country world or even within the country world, because there have been some people in at country radio stations who have spoken out saying they're not that excited by either contestant, particularly about Scotty, who they feel is derivative of other country artists like Josh Turner. But hopefully, maybe lock them doors. Hopefully if either contestant get in the studio with the right people and the right songs, doors will open for them at country radio and maybe even pop radio. I'm just not that excited about the finale. I think probably the most exciting thing that might happen is Scotty will take up Jennifer Lopez's offer to shave his head. She dared him to do that. That could be interesting. I think he should do it on stage maybe. Same guy who shaved Casey Abrams' face that few weeks ago. Who knows? Haley's supposed to perform, and the rumor is it's going to be an original song, her first single, so that could be cool. U2 are going to do their Spider-Man song, or Bono and the Edge, from their Disastrous musical, so we'll see if, you know, they can pull it off. I'm really hoping there'll be no injuries or disasters like the musical has had. David Cook's going to perform his Simple Minds cover, and I'm looking forward to that. And, you know, hopefully it'll be a good show. But in terms of who wins, I'm not that emotionally invested. I wish both kids well. Whoever wins, good luck. Whoever doesn't win, good luck. Whoever doesn't win, good luck. And good luck to some of the people who, you know, didn't win and didn't even get to the finale. Haley, Casey, Pia, James, Naima, list goes on. I hope that, you know, the exposure they had on the show will help them, and maybe Jimmy Iovine will consider signing some of them. He has indicated that he wants to sign a lot of people out of this show, and as I said way back a few minutes ago, it was a very, very diverse talent pool with a lot of great singers this year. So I hope Jimmy Iovine kept his ears and eyes open for that. And yeah, I'll come back on this flip cam in a few days after the confetti is settled, and we'll talk about who won, we'll talk about the finale highlights and lowlights. The lowlights are sometimes more fun to talk about than the highlights. And until then, Parker out.